Today we are talking about the road less traveled and a very special guitar that belongs to Mr. Cooper Greenberg here. And yep, it says Fender on the headstock, so you know you want to stick around and hear the whole story. Stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name's Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. So today we are talking about the road less traveled. Cooper is going to tell us all about his personal acoustic guitar. This is the guitar you gig with, right?
Absolutely.
And a very special guitar. It was custom made. It was not inexpensive, but it says a headstock on it, or has a logo on it that many of us aren't familiar with when it comes to high-end guitars, and that's Fender. So we're going to be talking about that. And I want to remind you, if you're new to our channel, make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and if you'd like to support us, head to our Teespring store, which we link below, and buy some shirts that we designed for you. So, Cooper, what the heck is going on with your guitar, man?
So this is, if you even look at the inner label, the Alamo 000. It's the only one in the world.
I like that.
Yeah, and if you don't know this, I've been coming to Alamo Music as a customer since I was 7 years old.
You had a beard back then too, right?
I had a beard, yeah. I was a weird kid. No, but I came to Alamo when I was 7. My parents took me there to take lessons, and I've bought pretty much every piece of gear that I've ever owned from Alamo Music. And when I was in high school, I started playing some more shows and getting out there, needing better gear, and I started going to the road shows that we host here.
And for those who don't know, road shows are like special in-store events that we do usually with a manufacturer like Taylor or Martin. I think Taylor's are called road shows, and it's kind of a general nomenclature for the event, but it's a kind of a marketing and sales event.
Yeah.
And Fender was doing some at the time with some of these acoustics.
Yeah, and I definitely recommend anybody, if you're in the area or you have a local music store that hosts a road show, it's so cool. They'll get a great player and somebody from the factory or the company to come in and talk about some new stuff. And I would go to the Taylor ones, I'd go to Cordoba ones, and I went to a Fender road show, and I played one of their Custom Shop Acoustics, which they did it ended up being a very short amount of time. But there's a guy named Maurice that works for Alamo Music. If you've been to the Babcock store,
Or Weechie for some of us.
Yeah, if you're from Eagle Pass, you know this guy. Yeah, you know him. But he was my guy for the store, and he invited me to the Fender Roadshow, and they did custom shop acoustic guitars with luthiers from Guild.
From Guild, yeah. And it's funny, I don't think that was really marketed.
Yeah.
So what was happening at this time, this was about 6 years ago, maybe actually longer than that. I've been working for Alamo Music almost as long as you've had this guitar, for a little over 6 years. And when I started, we had some of these, so it'd been going for longer than that. But the Fender Custom Shop Acoustics were being built in the, I believe it was Connecticut factory, where they were also building the Ovation guitars that Fender owned at the time, and the Guild USA and Custom Shop guitars. So these were actually kind of being built by the Guild workmen. Yeah.
And I picked one up. It was just incredible. I love the tone. I'm a big 000 body style kind of guy. And they had custom shop models that you could purchase there, or you could get in touch with a representative and build out exactly what you wanted. And I took that model of their 000 that they had, which was really beautiful, and I changed a few things that I wanted to be different about it. They, on a lot of the 000s, offered a Stratocaster headstock, which was something that I didn't necessarily want on acoustic. I wanted 3 to a side. I love the look of a classic 000, very just traditional, and that's what I wanted. But I got to kind of choose the wood, the finish, everything.
What are the specs on it?
So it's a aged spruce top, Sitka spruce, and mahogany back and sides.
Did you say aged?
Yeah, that's what it was advertised to me as.
So basically, it was kind of early torrefaction before that was hitting mainstream.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted warm tones. I'm a mahogany back and sides type of guy. LaMarcus is my favorite spur. I'm a mid-range monster, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, rosewood fretboard, very simple, cool rosette, tortoiseshell on the pick guard. And
It's kind of like a Western rosette. It's not quite herringbone.
Yeah.
Something I've seen them do with binding and stuff before.
It was super cool. I mean, sitting down to make a custom, they showed me pictures of every single possible rosette and inlay. I wanted the clay dots, kind of all that same type of color scheme that kind of fits together, but nothing that's too flashy. I'm not a huge flash guy. I mean, if it was going to be my one thing, I wanted it to be, you know, something that I think reflect myself. So I sat down with Maurice and with Eric, our Fender rep.
Eric Langenhahn, which is, I believe, German for long rooster.
Yeah, he's a he's a legend around these parts. But yeah, it's got Gotos on it, and I just loved it. I mean, I was very excited about just the possibility of personalizing something, and it says Alamo Triple O on the inside, and so it's forever tied to this store, as I am as well. But you know, you don't really understand until you put that together, like what it's actually going to feel like in your hands to have a custom. And when it finally came in about 6 months later, I showed up to the store, Maurice gave me a call, and we took it out of the box, and I went to play it, and he said, hey man, that's not going to be in tune, here's a tuner. And it was perfectly in tune, that first chord, and we're all just like blown away by it. And it's been on every recording I've ever done with acoustic since. It's been played at pretty much every show that I've played. It's worn in to me perfectly, and it's something really special to me. And it was actually stolen out of my truck when...
We have that in common.
Yeah.
Well, not my truck, but yeah, guitar stolen.
Yeah, this was stolen out of my truck. It's the last time I've ever left anything of value in my truck.
Yeah, top tip.
And it was probably the first time I ever left this guitar in my truck. And it happened on Halloween at the movie theater. And it was gone. And then my dad was pretty incredible. He looked for it everywhere. We had a few friends that helped us out, and we found it at a pawn shop. And spent a lot of money on this thing, and it was at the pawn shop for $125.
Because they thought it was a different Fender guitar.
They looked up Fender Acoustic.
Yeah.
And probably saw an FA-125.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, let's give this guy a deal. It's a 125. Which, come by Alamo Music. We got FA-125s available. We'll give you a really good deal.
Did you have to buy it again?
No. Since we registered the serial number with the police department, I got it back.
They did right by you.
Yeah, it was awesome. And now this thing is very safe at all times, except when I bring it into Alamo Music. But no, it's very special to me. I'd recommend, if you can, try and think about custom maybe, or look at an acoustic manufacturer that you might not think of the first two names, you know.
And now, I think that's what's interesting about this story is, you know, that's why I said it's the road less traveled. I think majority of the time we tend to look at guitars from manufacturers we know, and you know, we know Fender, but a high-end Fender acoustic is something that's not typical for most of the market. But that is also the same thing with a lot of smaller builders, right? You can think of a lot of luthier builders, and there's some big names where they make very expensive guitars. And then there's some small builders that are out there that can make some incredible guitars, and they're kind of off the beaten path. But sometimes there's gold at the end of that rainbow.
Absolutely.
But you know, whether it's maybe someone unknown or something new or a tried and true builder, I do think it's interesting and something special to have a custom guitar built. I have a custom guitar built, and yeah, it's special. There is a bit of trepidation, you know, like you said. I don't know if you dealt with this, but when I I have a custom tailor that I picked out the woods for and everything. It was a great process, and I have a very understanding wife. But that first moment, it's like it came in, and there was this sense of like, is it going to be everything that I think and hope it will be? And then you strum that first chord, at least for me, and it sounds like for you, and it's like...
It's more,
it's more than I could ask for. So it's an awesome opportunity, regardless of what maybe you're looking at, whether it's an acoustic or even electric. Custom guitars are special. Like you said, this has become kind of synonymous with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've played it on TV shows here in San Antonio. You can check them out. Favorite Son is your handle and website.
Well, it's just my name, coopergreenberg.com, but then I have a band called Favorite Son, favoritesonmusic.com. Yeah. But it's all over those recordings, so if you want to hear it in action, totally.
So we want to hear it in action.
Yeah.
So now you get to hear it and see. Let me ask you this before you play. The other day we did a video, and I'll link it here, of me comparing my 914 that I've had for 20 years to a new one. And I said in that video that I play better on it than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. And it's weird. I brought it into the store the other day, and one of the guys, Nick, that works here, said, action's a little high. And I've never even... it's like this guitar probably doesn't feel as good to other people as it feels to me. I swear by it to anybody, and then they're like, oh, it feels great. But there's something about it's like set up perfectly to how
for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is very special, with an instrument.
Well, great. All right, well, let's see Cooper play on it better than anything else. All right, so there you go. That is Cooper Greenberg and his Alamo 000, which is awesome. I love that it's the Alamo 000 from Fender Custom Acoustics, which aren't made anymore. And it's funny. I've said this in a previous video. A lot of very expensive vintage guitars that are prized and astronomically priced. And rare. They're rare because they weren't very popular at the time and people discovered them later. Yeah. I don't know, maybe Fender Custom Acoustics that were built for that short period of time will... I always thought they were fantastic guitars, and awesome. Maybe they'll find that market someday. But, if for whatever it's worth, I think that this is a good example of the benefit of finding that guitar that suits you, that's unique to you, regardless of what anyone else says, recommends, what have you. And the value of having, whether it's custom or something else, just your guitar, played in, meaningful. You hopefully, like us, you don't have to have it stolen and thankfully brought back. You can have that bond without it. But I think it's a powerful story. So.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for listening to a story about a guitar that is not available to you, but there are things a lot like it, and I really do think there is something for everybody that you can find and fall in love with an instrument like this.
Yeah. Tell us your guitar story. We'd like to see what your guitar story, maybe the guitar that got away or the guitar that you own and treasure. Comment below, tell us all about it. And if you'd like more information on finding your guitar, finding the right one, maybe one that like Cooper and I, you can build a lifelong bond with, go to our website, it's alamomusic.com. We have a forum, find your guitar. And basically we pride ourselves on talking to you and finding exactly what would be the right fit so that it's the right guitar for you. Because at the end of the day, the best guitar is...
This guitar. No, it's the one that you're making music on right now.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Well, great. All right. Well, let's see Cooper play on it better than anything else.